So there I was, at the movies, realizing that I was late for the movie. Decided to get some popcorn. Cash lady was super slow, and then decided to get a pretzel. And I had to wait an extra 5 minutes, so I was even more late for the movie. I missed 5 minutes of the movie, man. What's up guys, and welcome to a Ratchet Clank movie review. Now I gotta say, there's a bunch of critics, bad reviews going on, but I actually enjoyed the movie. I actually loved it. There were some laughs here and there, and I actually liked the fact that the movie had some references. There was actually an old sound effect from movies, it's called the Wilhelm scream. A character in the movie was actually named Wilhelm. Now that was pretty hilarious. I was laughing and the guys behind me were laughing. Now for jokes and stuff like that, the jokes weren't meant to be serious. The jokes were more like character remarks, how they act, the actions they do, how they walk around and stuff like that. It was pretty funny. Like, people in the theater were actually laughing, so that's a good thing, right? Now, for the character personalities, they were pretty spot on. We have Brax, the muscle, Quark being a goof as usual. Now, that's actually pretty cool. They kept the personalities from the old games, well, despite Ratchet not being a jerk, of course. And then we have Cora. If I describe Cora, if you piss her off, she punches you in the face. It's pretty basic. Then we have Alaris, that kind person who's always ignored. And then we have Clank, kind of like Alaris, let's say. I'm saying that Clank was kind of like Alaris because during the movie, in some parts, Clank was ignored, basically. And I believe the Galactic Rangers were a nice addition to the story. I know people find like it's too different from the classic, and that's why they hate the movie or dislike the movie, but it was pretty good, so I didn't worry about that. Now about the voice actors. Guys, think about this. The movie actually has the real voice actors, the original voice actors. And that's one huge big bonus when it comes to video game movies. Like James Arnold Taylor, David Kaye, Jim Ward, Shimmerman, they all did an amazing job. I absolutely adore Nefarious. I mean, from voice actor to character to personalities, he can be evil and funny at the same time. Now the movie was pretty family friendly, but it also targeted fans, so you don't have to worry about that. For casual viewers, that's when reviews kind of get, I don't know, so let's say. But honestly, if you're a fan, you're really gonna enjoy the movie. I mean, we're used to the characters, we know the story, we know how the characters act. And that's what basically makes us laugh during the movie. Now, for a non-budget Disney movie, the animation was pretty spot on. I mean, you gotta appreciate the work Blockade and Rainmaker put into this movie, right? The movie's not Disney or Pixar, but I really appreciate all the work Rainmaker and Blockade put into the movie. No doubt about that. For the story was pretty good. Now, compared to the original, the story's very different. Okay, it has some elements from the old game, but stuff have been changed, let's say, when it comes to the main villain. Now, I'm not gonna try to spoil too much, so I'm not gonna talk about the main villain. Now, there's one thing I adored from this movie. It's the quote that Grimroth came up with. Like, I don't know who came up with this quote during movie production, but it's pretty good. Even Ratchet himself was like, not half bad. Oh, and about the quote, James Arnold Taylor believes that there's a moral to the story. And I believe that moral is the quote itself. And if you guys are a fan of James Arnold Taylor, make sure to check out his channel. He takes the time to make amazing content, gives us a bunch of vlogs, and they're pretty entertaining. So check out his channel and support him, and even subscribe. And here's a short review of what he thinks about the movie.
It is a family film. It's very funny. It's got a lot of great action. It feels like the games. There's a wonderful moral message in it too. There really is. It's got a bit of Star Wars, A New Hope in it. Ratchet's kind of Luke Skywalker-y in that. I thought it was really charming and fun.
Oh, there's something else about the movie, guys. Some Easter eggs were actually added. We actually had Sly from the CGI movie version, and we had Daxter. We also had Dan. Now, Sly I understand, but why did they include Daxter? Could it hint towards something? Now, I might be overthinking too much. Are Blockade and Rainmaker considering making a Jak and Daxter movie eventually? Who knows? But look, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, and Ratchet Clank were pretty close in the past. They used to make a bunch of Easter eggs. So it's kind of obvious, let's say. Now, the Galactic Rangers were a pretty nice addition to the story. Now, if you guys were to ask me who's my favorite Galactic Ranger, I'd go for Alaris, hands down. I mean, I could easily relate to Alaris. Like, sometimes, when I'm in a group discussion, I come up with an idea and no one listens to me. I'm like, guys, I have an idea, guys. And they keep talking in the back. I'm like a sitting duck who keeps quacking the whole time. And then, later on, I'm like, told you so. And then they're like, you never said that, bruh. And that's how I basically describe Alaris. So overall, I enjoyed the voice actors, the story, the animation, the jokes, the references, and with that, I'll give it a 9 on 10. I actually gave the book an 8 on 10, but with the good animation and stuff like that, I decided to give it a 9. Alright, let's move on to something else. According to Kevin Munro, the movie was originally supposed to have 5 Galactic Rangers, and if we include Ratchet, that's 6. And that 5th Galactic Ranger was supposed to be named Stig, and he was supposed to be Alaris' love interest. Now I kind of wonder, how would have that whole thing turned out? What do you think, guys? Anyways, with that being said, let's move on to something that you guys might be expecting. Let's discuss a bit about the fan reviews, alright? Now here's the thing, there are 2 groups of fans. One group disliked the movie and the second loved the movie. Like after reading comments on Facebook, YouTube comment section on Twitter, there's people liking the movie and there's people hating on the movie. Now why did some fans, who apparently enjoyed the series, disliked the movie? Well, here's one thing. Some were expecting a story very similar to the classic. And if they haven't played the PS4 game, there you go. They were expecting something different. Look, if we really compare the new story with the old story from the old game, in the new game, Ratchet is becoming a Galactic Ranger. Whereas in the original game, the story focused more on Clank and Ratchet's relationship. Now here's what's confusing me. These people enjoyed the game, but they disliked the movie. Some people even said the movie felt like copy-paste of cutscenes from the game. Well, when I saw the movie, the cutscenes flowed pretty well and it wasn't like a copy-paste thing. Now here's another reason that fans might dislike the movie. The lack of adult hidden humor. Now usually in the old game, the classic games on the PS2, there were a lot of adult hidden humor. And fans are kind of upset that those were pretty much absent from the movie. But that's not what's gonna make me dislike the movie. Like I said before, there were some laughs here and there. And I was laughing, I enjoyed the movie. I give it a 9 out of 10. And even James Arnold himself said that the movie's pretty funny. Now I don't know, they played the game but disliked the movie. Some people thought that the movie was too fast-paced story-wise. Look, a game and a movie are 2 completely different things. A movie focuses on story, whereas a game focuses on gameplay. And plus, they simply cannot fit everything from the game into the movie. The movie's an hour and 30 minutes. Look, they took out a character, the 5th Galactic Ranger. And if they decided to add a lot of details in the movie, well, details from the game, the story might have felt too rushed. And that's what I think. And maybe some of you might agree with me. And now let's move on to the other group of fans. The group which absolutely adored the movie. Now why did they adore the movie? Like I mentioned in the beginning, animation, voice actors, funny cutscenes, references, Easter eggs. That's pretty much why we enjoyed the movie. And I'm gonna say this, overall fans have enjoyed the movie. Yes, despite some bad comments from a few fans. And now here's something that people worried about before watching the movie. Well, fans, let's say. And it has to do with Rotten Tomatoes. Look, I know the critics gave like garbage reviews, let's say, but critics are pretty much nitpicky most of the time. It's basically their job to criticize the smallest thing they can find in a movie. And they basically judge the movie on what they saw. They don't know the story, they don't know the characters that well, they don't understand the jokes. And plus, if I'm not mistaken, we still haven't received audience reviews. Maybe we have, but I'm not too sure, did we? Okay, now due to Rotten Tomatoes, us fans are pretty much worried about one major thing. It has to do with the Sly Cooper movie. Now news have been so dry on this movie, and according to Kevin Munro, the movie needs to be green-lighted first. Now I hope these critics don't change the fate of the Sly Cooper movie, like I'm pretty much hyped up for that movie as well. I don't want it to get cancelled. If worst comes to worst, guys, the movie might get even more delayed. What the companies will do is that they'll take the critics into account, and with that they'll try to improve, I guess. But look, on Twitter, Insomniac Games mentioned that the movie is not for critics, it's more for families and fans. So there you have it. So maybe Insomniac Games was expecting these kinds of critics? I don't know, but maybe. And like I said, I enjoyed the movie, animation, cutscenes, stuff like that. I give it a 9 on 10. So I'm definitely going to buy the Blu-ray movie. No doubt about that. So I guess this is pretty much it for the video, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this review. I know some of you might not agree with me, but that's fine. It's okay. Now if you have any concerns, thoughts, leave them in the comments. And as usual, I've been Vivi, and thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'll catch you guys next time.